This is an opportunity for BYU to get to 4-1 through the first 5 games, and gosh dang it, we all would have taken it if you had asked any fan at the beginning of the season. But the question is, as a 2-point home underdog now, and a struggling run game to say the least, Jarom, where does BYU have advantages over Cincinnati so they can get to 4 wins in the first 5 games?
There are a bunch of areas. Let's talk about it. Red zone, to me, is the #1 advantage BYU has. When the Cougars get to the red zone, they are tremendous. In fact, they've been perfect. They've scored on all 15 trips. 12 of those 15 trips have been touchdowns. 80% is 13th in the country. Cincinnati's allowing 93% scoring there. So they're allowing teams, when they get in, to score. Can you put up 6s and 7s instead of 3s? BYU has done that so far. Another one, momentum. Both coming off a loss, but Cincinnati may be a bit more shaken than BYU in that 2 weeks ago they lost a rivalry game to a team they should have beat, Miami of Ohio. Did well defensively to hold Oklahoma to 20, but ultimately only scored 6, so 2-game losing streak there. 93 points scored the first 2 games. It helps to play Eastern Kentucky and score 66. When I can't name your mascot, that doesn't mean that you should win that game by like 50. Sure. I can't name the Eastern Kentucky mascot. If anyone can, let me know. And then 30 points the last 2 weeks. Another one, third down defense. BYU's really good on third down defense right now. 31% allowed, 22nd in the country. How about average starting field position, which is perhaps Greg Wrubell's favorite stat?
Special teams.
So I asked him this morning just to make sure I had the number. Plus 4.6 this season, which you think about, 4.6 yards does not feel like a big deal. It is a big deal. When BYU wins average starting field position under Kalani Sitake, 49-9.
That's amazing.
That's weird, right? That you get shorter fields and you win. And then the last thing that sticks out, methodical drives. That is 10-plus play drives. BYU is only allowing 6% of those. The national average is 14%. So BYU is doing a good job of, I guess if the team scores, it's under 10, but not allowing a lot of 10-play drives where they're just nickel and diming you down the field. So I do think BYU has certain advantages in certain spots. Another one is in the pass game. I think BYU's passing offense right now is really good. Keaton Slovis runs a complicated offense, and we have not thought twice about his ability and execution in doing that. Obviously, you know, the 4th down interception the other day was disappointing, but you were gonna turn it over anyway, and I don't know that many yards were even gained, so it didn't even matter. The Isaac Rex interception is not on Keaton Slovis. It's not even on Isaac Rex per se. And then, the Parker Kingston situation, that's a big fumble. What has Keaton Slovis not done this year that we've needed him to do? He's basically done everything we could have hoped for and more. Yeah,
outside of maybe some nerves or a little bit of inaccuracy in the opening game against Sam Houston State, which is understandable. It's your first game out there with a bunch of new guys. He's been really, really solid.
Yeah.
I'd say he was awesome last week against Kansas, outside of the interception thrown when he was trying to force something to Isaac Rex, and a miscommunication on the 4th down breakdown. I mean, he is dropping dimes into the breadbasket consistently against Kansas.
Yeah.
So Keaton Slovis, to your point, has been great. Now, you've chronicled all of the obvious statistical advantages and areas where BYU has an advantage, per se, over Cincinnati. I'm going to give you one specific thing that I expect to happen that I believe BYU can exploit Cincinnati's defense with. And it's a good Cincinnati defense. So while they are very aggressive, the Bearcats up front, and they're amazing, and they're going to get after Keaton Slovis, they play a little soft on the edges. This is a perfect scenario for the BYU screen game to take advantage. If you get upfield in a hurry with your front 7 and you are coming after the quarterback, which they will, and your defensive backs
screen B-roll, nicely done.
Play a little soft.
Nicely done.
This is where Aaron Roderick is such a mastermind of knowing when and the specific situation to call a screen pass. And there are several different types of screens that BYU has in the playbook. In fact, Keaton Slovis said—
showing all of them.
Yes, Keaton Slovis said in BYU football training camp, we are going to throw a lot of screens, and we have so many options to do so. And you just saw, I mean, it can be any one of that arsenal. Parker Kingston, Darius Lassiter, Keelan Marion, L.J. Martin.
Deion Smith is really good at it.
Yes, they utilize all of them. This is, I don't know how Cincinnati prepares for this because everybody knows it's going to eventually show up from BYU, but it has been one of the most effective play calls for the Cougars offense all year in terms of explosive plays and touchdown scoring plays.
And it's a simple throw, which is nice.
Cincinnati's defense is set up to have some issues with this. So unless they decide to go full aggressive and bring their defensive backs way up to match that aggression from the front seven, well, now you leave yourself prone to getting beat over the top, and Keaton Slovis is going deep to Chase Roberts and Keelan Marion.
Pick your poison there with BYU.
So I feel like the screen game with that aggressive front from Cincinnati is absolutely a place where BYU can flex an advantage against the Bearcats. The second one you kind of touched on. You talked about starting field position. A huge part of that is Ryan Rico. Cincinnati doesn't have Ryan Rico.
They have a better field goal kicker than BYU, but they don't have.
They don't have Ryan Rico, which greatly impacts average starting field position. Like, this can be weaponized for BYU. And so I expect the BYU special teams, and Ryan had, a shank punt in Kansas, but for the most part, Jarom, he's been lights out, right?
Hey, no one gives you punting B-roll like BYUtv.
This is an advantage that BYU has clearly over Cincinnati, is they've got what I believe is eventually going to be an All-American punter in Ryan Rico. Like, he's
he just has some
all Big 12 punter at least.
Yeah, barely punted last week.
And then we've talked about it so much over, it feels like we talk about it at least a little bit over, in every show for the last, 2 years. But BYU at night, how do you quantify it?
25-3. That's how you quantify it.
Okay, what is it? I don't know. what is this Lavelle Edwards Stadium nighttime magic?
The Night Cougs, man.
What is it?
Guns a-blazing, fires burning, Cougarettes dancing, Cosmo, crowd surfing. That's how we roll, baby.
BYU football has a team full of nighttime people, okay? That, I don't know, are you a night person? Are you a morning person?
Both. I don't know. Ralph Wiggum one time, they go to the zoo, and what does he see, the bats or something? He goes, hey, you're nocturnal. BYU is nocturnal, man.
The nocturnal Cougs.
25-3, 6 or later kickoffs since 2019. 14-13 before. I don't know why that is, but I love it.
Yes. And listen, we need to throw out the fact that Cincinnati, in their last 16 night games, they have an identical 15-1 record just like BYU.
Oh, also
but
nocturnal.
They're not 25-3 like BYU is since 2019. The Bearcats have had some issues before this current trend of playing well at night. And what is Cincinnati at night under a new head coach? Scott Satterfield, to his credit, has done a really nice job because they were picked to finish, 12th? Just behind BYU, and we thought, transition year, like they lost a lot of talent. What is Cincinnati going to be? They're better than I thought they were going to be, especially in their defense and not allowing a ton of points. You hold Oklahoma's offense to 20 points, you got a great defense.
That's tremendous.
Okay?
Yeah.
So they've been a little bit better than I expected them to be overall, but I still have major question marks about their offense. And how are they going to handle Lavelle Edwards Stadium on a Friday night on a short week when they have to travel, when they've lost 2 games in a row? They're desperation mode right now. Cincinnati does not want to lose a third straight game because then things start to get super weird for you, right?
Can we talk about geography for a second? I feel like in the United States, we still hold to 1790. Yes, that Ohio is in the Midwest. No. Utah's in the Midwest, okay? They're coming 2 time zones. BYU's at home. That's the biggest advantage. Let's stop saying that the Midwest is Ohio. If Missouri's the edge, yes. Louisiana Purchase, people. Come on. Topic 2. How would a win or a loss on Friday night change your perception of BYU football in the season?
This is so ridiculous because it's just one game. It's just one game.
Is it?
But tell me that you don't feel entirely different.
Yeah. Going
into the bye week, if BYU is 4-1 and picked up their first Big 12 win, don't have a losing streak, and they have some momentum building as they rest and try and get healthy for a road trip to TCU, compared to BYU's limping into the bye week after losing their first 2 Big 12 games, including their home opener in front of a sold-out crowd at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. And now they have to go to TCU and are in significant danger of losing a 3rd consecutive game and to start 0-3 in the Big 12.
Also a Ralph Wiggum quote, I'm in danger. That's what BYU
It's one game. It's one game.
With those 2 losses.
But, inside I'm 3-2, given the circumstances of what's on the line here, feels like a totally different universe for BYU compared to if you beat Cincinnati and now you're 4-1 in the first 5. And now everyone's like, oh, 7 wins, maybe 8 wins are possible. Whereas if BYU's 3-2, it's like, are the Cougars really going to make a bowl game? That's the question that we're going to get. Are they going to make a bowl game?
We would start to question, yes. After Arkansas, we were like, I said, hey, bowl game's happening. That's check, that's happening. That's assuming that you beat Cincinnati at home. I've said there's no way BYU's losing this game. I think this is kind of a 50-50 proposition. It's more so than I thought before, but I do think BYU comes out on top of this one. Yes, we feel entirely different, and we would just be sky high. 4-1, what a start for BYU, despite no run game. And what if you figure that out? Then what are you capable of in the final 7 of the regular season, then into a bowl game? Yes, BYU needs to get healthy. Like, can you get Ben Bywater back? There's no real indication that Ben's going to play this week, right? Let alone not play.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's out until they tell us he's in. No Parker Kingston probably, right? There's some banged up guys, and we'll find out more from you tomorrow, on the field with Waylon Apuahu and whatnot on BYUSN Game Day. 3-2, very different than 4-1 because October's brutal. At TCU, Texas Tech at home, who has struggled, but still every game's big. And then you're at Texas, who's the best team in the league clearly and competing for a national championship, let alone the Big 12 title. Then you go to November, and it's like, hey, 2-2 would actually be decent. But it's like you probably need a 4th win tomorrow night to ensure said bowl game because we don't know what October is going to look like. That could be 0-3. We're hoping it's at least 1-2. But there's a chance. Like, if you told me it was 2-1, I'd be shocked right now, given the way BYU's not running the ball. So you need a 4th win tomorrow night.
You're looking at the difference of the following 2 questions. 1, if BYU wins, can the Cougars win 8 games? And if BYU loses tomorrow night, shoot, is BYU going to make a bowl game? That is where this hinges.
It is a huge 60-minute contest there. Because you're getting through one of the easier portions of conference play, Spence. At Kansas was kind of a 50-50. Cincinnati at home, that's a game you feel like you should win.
Even though ESPN says BYU does not have the majority chance to win, and now BYU's an underdog.
Yeah, well, keep playing that card against BYU and see what happens.
Let's go.
I love that. I would rather be the dog.
Our question of the day, how would a win or loss on Friday night change your perception of BYU football moving forward? We just told you how we feel about it.
Game.
Now we want to hear from you. Brandon Reeves on Instagram says, come January, we will look back at this game and say this made or broke BYU's season.
I need a little more drama there. Jeez.
Starting 4-1 with this schedule is much different than 3-2. This game will determine if BYU goes bowling or not.
I don't know. I think we're a game away from that. Not meaning the next game. I'm meaning there's going to be another game where it really hinges. But it's early, and Brandon might be right. We may look back and go,
Michael Christensen on X says, a win. BYU's on track for bowl eligibility and a solid first Big 12 season. A loss, we could be in trouble.
It's important. It's really important. And you're at home. Defend LaVell Edwards Stadium.
Yes.
Come on.
Our boy Greg Welch. Win tomorrow, I'm making bowl game plans.
Yep.
Lose tomorrow, it's going to be a squeaker to get to 6 wins.
You're not wrong. No, tomorrow is big.